Radio.com. Take over. Last mission. Final boss mode.
However, get to our third and our final topic of the night. Save the best for last. Recap. An absolutely wonderful fight. That Top Rank put on. Now, of course, the fight I'm talking about is Ivan Baranchyk and Jose Zepeda. Now, if you listen to our podcast where we actually previewed this fight, we said a whole bunch of different things. But one thing that we agreed on was this was a sleeper. This can be fight of the year candidate. Now we were all thinking that if Bear went to the cards, Baranchyk would probably win the decision. And then I mused about
we said if it went to the cards, we said Zepeda would win the decision.
Pretty sure we said Baranchyk that when
Nah, we all said Baranchyk will probably be winning or look better, but if it goes to the cards, Zepeda will win the decision. Cause I know P said that as well. I know I said that.
Yeah, and then also, but then I mused about.
But you did muse about the KO and said he would have to KO him, and if he did, give him a title shot right now. Yeah,
give him and lo and behold, that's what happened. But that knockout came after 8, and that was the eighth knockdown. 8 knockdowns in 5 rounds. Like how often do you see? Well, especially in America, you don't see.
It should have been 9.
Yeah, it should have been 9.
Yeah, not via. Excuse me. Zepeda did score a knockdown that wasn't counted in there, but man, they wasn't fucking around. Baranchyk is a hard dude. Dude is super aggressive and he's tough. And then he immediately made his mark in the first round. Baranchyk, knocking dude not once but twice. Zepeda, and people were saying, "Oh, Zepeda didn't really get hit." If you see Zepeda's face at the end of the fight, that dude got hit. I don't know why people saying that he.
Who's saying Zepeda really didn't get hit? Who's saying that shit?
No, I see it on Twitter and on the forums. I was like, oh no, Zepeda didn't really get hit. He wasn't really hurt. So Baranchyk was hurting that guy a lot. His face.
Remember before he dropped him, he was landing lead left hooks like he was Roy Jones.
Exactly. But yeah, the insanity was in the first round was 2 knockdowns for Baranchyk. In round 2, which was a round of the year candidate, they split knockdowns in there, and then 3 and 4 Zepeda scores knockdowns in those, and then 5 itself, which is probably another round of the year candidate, Baranchyk probably landed his cleanest knockdown. Dude landed, I guess he fainted and then landed a right hand, that sent Zepeda into the ropes. And I was like, God damn, Baranchyk, you cannot dissuade this motherfucker. I was like, God damn.
His punches are so forceful. They may not always land clean or with that snap, but for some reason they look painful, they hurt, and the force behind it just knocks you back. If your balance isn't good, you're gonna be all over the place.
Yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm watching this and I'm thinking to myself, man, I know that I can't see this fight ending any other way. I was thinking Baranchyk will eventually catch him and put him away, and then a short second later, Zepeda lands a check hook, followed by a crushing left hand that knocked Baranchyk out, iced him, for 10 minutes. I didn't think that. I honestly didn't think Baranchyk would actually be knocked out like that, or could be knocked out like that.
Yeah, dude was when I saw the way his the way his leg twisted when he went down, that's how he was out. He wasn't getting up after that.
Yeah, and it's funny too. Dude was knocked out. He bent over, and then his knee buckled under, and then he stayed on his side with his arms out in front of him like that. The referee was just nah, fuck that. This dude is out of there. He's gone. And he stayed in that position for 10 minutes. You can see him breathing his chest, breathing hard up and down and shit like that. And I didn't think that could happen to Baranchyk. But I was like, man, and like Zepeda was walking around, you see his face is swollen, his eyes are like, the marked up and shit like that. But niggas have the nerve to say that he wasn't getting hit. Get the fuck out of here! Like Baranchyk put pressure on him, like for 5 rounds, like those dudes went to war. Like
Zepeda was fighting for his life. Baranchyk was just fighting to win. That was a difference. Like like you could see it in how the punches were thrown. Like Zepeda. Sometimes, a lot of times, I see with the advanced casuals, they give the boxer of the fight, which was Zepeda, they give him a little more credit than the other guy pushing the action, because they think the whole boxing, they look at it as being effortless and more cerebral. But Zepeda's face says it all, and you can't be boxing the shit out of somebody and get dropped 4 times.
Yeah, like, and Zepeda is known for good movement, but you go down 4 times, that kind of negates that statement.
And Zepeda's supposed to be the bigger puncher.
Yeah.
Baranchyk only has 13 knockouts, but the thing is, he's a guy that hits hard. Like, some guys could hit hard, but they're not the finisher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, see, I disagree. I thought Baranchyk to me was the heavier-handed guy.
Yeah, because I mean,
you said
as far as Zepeda had never really shown. I mean, he's shown he's a good boxer, but Zepeda has never shown what he's shown in this fight.
Oh yeah, no, I thought LB said it the other way around, that Zepeda was the bigger puncher. I'm like, what?
Well, if you look,
he had the more knockouts.
Yeah,
the record.
But that's all. Yeah, that's true. But you and I know that the knockouts don't always mean bigger punch. There's that stuff that goes into knockouts. But just from watching both of them, I always came away with Baranchyk being the bigger puncher, the heavier hands. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, because Zepeda, his temperament, man, that does more like if Baranchyk had better technique or had the same technique as Zepeda, he'd probably be 20-18.
Facts.
Instead of 20-13. I think Zepeda does hit hard. I think he is the puncher in that fight, but it's also because he was able to take Barancyk's punches too.
Yeah.
But then the shots were kind of telegraphed, and he got hit and dropped with him, but he was still able to brace for him. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of Zepeda's punches were punches that Baranchyk didn't see coming.
Yeah, or he really like walk into them sometimes.
Yeah, he just walk into it or lunge into it. So and boom, you get caught with those, and if a guy hits hard enough, then you gonna feel that shit.
Yeah, no. And it was funny too, because usually about fights like this, I'd be texting either LB about it, but I left my phone in the room, so I'm sure over here because I was so they had hooked me immediately on the TV. So I was like, I'm over here, I was like watching, like, oh shit. I'm like, oh shit. Like, like this is like nuts. And I mean, obviously Twitter was like, okay, this is immediately fight of the year. Like, after the second round was fight of the year. So you're like wondering like how long this shit was really gonna go like this, but man.
Yeah, by the 3rd round, it was fight of the year to me.
Yeah.
No question about it. Like,
I mean, talk about fight that restored the feelings. Like, my goodness, I mean, this shit was a fight of the year, had 2 round of the years, and a KO of the year to boot. I mean, it hit like the hat trick of boxing fights. It's a rarity that you get all 3 in a fight. And it was just like, I had to run that back. I was literally waiting until ESPN made that shit a replay available, which took like, I think, about 20 minutes or so, give or take. I was like, I need to watch this shit again. And then it was still outstanding the second time I watched. I think I watched it like 3 more times this whole weekend.
And the polls agreed that this was the fight of the year and the knockout of the year. So
hell yeah,
for 90%.
For sure, man. So yeah, no, Zepeda proved that dude is a contender at 140. Like, dude, when you knock out a former champion, because remember, Baranchyk is a former IBF 140 champion. Like, dude, hell yes, was briefly a champion. When you ice somebody like that who had never been iced before, like, I mean, Josh Taylor fought Baranchyk, and although he scored 2 knockdowns, did not come close to really putting him away. He still
he didn't hurt him like Zepeda hurt him. Zepeda really hurt him.
Yeah. So like when you stop someone that one of the top dog at 140 couldn't do, that's you did something, and like Zepeda literally definitely. I mean, I give the motherfucker a title shot. Just like I said in the preview, if he wins, give this dude a title shot, dude.
Yeah, he deserves it. Fuck all this Pedraza rematch. Look, put him in there, winner of Taylor Ramirez.
Yeah, because
or if Teofimo wins and moves up, and he needs a good fight before he get the Taylor the winner of Taylor Ramirez.
Yeah.
Hey, Zepeda's right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
whoever win that fight definitely need a fucking title right there. Fuck all that.
Yeah, I mean, Zepeda's not fucking around with niggas anymore. He was like, "Look, yeah, man, I iced a Russian I've never been asking for, man. So like, I'm gonna ask y'all again. Like, someone's gonna give me a motherfucking belt. This time it's belt taking time. You know what I'm saying? Niggas lose their titles every day. And that's just, and like I said, he deserves it. He deserves a title shot. Like, don't give him no warmth. Like, you gotta put him in with a champion, somebody. It was such an impressive performance of guts and skill to do what he did, man. I've raved about all this shit on my Facebook, on Twitter too. With the post-fight conversation I had with LB about this shit, I'm over there typing in caps and shit because it's like, that was a boxing high. Like, you don't see a slugfest like that every day. That's a rarity, especially in American TV of all things. So
you got plenty of good fights on America. What the fuck? Like
a slugfest.
Didn't Holyfield Moore have a bunch of knockdowns?
It didn't have
the rematch. Had like 5.
The fight I've seen get.
It was an ass whooping variety. It was, M. Dom Quillen had like 6 knockdowns.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
One-sided. I'm talking about
one-sided, but.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about where niggas. The one fight that people I've seen this compared to is Hamed and Kelly.
On steroids.
To me, that's the best. On steroids. I know I tweeted that. I felt like that was the best description of that fight. Unless you want to start pulling out some random Orlando Salido fights. Then yeah, I mean, Salido has a couple fights where it's knockdowns galore, and I think them shits go 12 rounds.
They do.
So yeah, like he the only one I could really think of that has those fights. But imagine COVID, man. COVID year done had some fucking fights, man.
Yeah, actually, I just took a quick look. Hamed Kelly had 6 total. 3 on Hamed, 3 on Kelly.
Shit, I didn't even think that one. I didn't even remember that one had that many knockdowns.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it did.
But you know what the problem is? I think once it goes past 4 knockdowns, we all stop counting.
Yeah. Well, the problem is, unfortunately, you have some people that when there's too many knockdowns, then you risk because how you have a lot of one of the things that a lot of hype beasts now like to fucking say is when there's too many especially a fight where there's too many knockdowns. It's a glorified slugfest where 2 brainless fighters act like rock'em sock'em robots and hit each other. There's no skill in that.
Yeah,
but I think willing yourself to hurt your opponent like Baranchyk does is a skill in itself. You have to train for that. Like, you just don't run in there and just you're gonna get hit or might get hit. It's kill or be killed. Like,
yeah, fact.
And I didn't really see why. I mean, both those guys were kind of reckless, but I didn't see nothing wild and crazy. I still saw some skill. Like,
it was, it definitely was not on some brainless shit. Like, like Zepeda was still setting traps and everything. Like, he was setting traps all throughout the fight and just happened to catch him with the one final trap. And Baranchyk was just off sheer, sheer like athleticism and power, was like powering through that.
But it's not like he he was flailing his punches and not throwing them correctly. Like, even for as good as Ruslan Provodnikov and Timothy Bradley was flailing some of those punches and, you know, fighting like a Girl Scout or some shit, like with his head down, you know, and shit. Like, I didn't see none of that here. So, and I'm not even trying to get at Bradley. You know, he a legend too. You know, I'm just saying, you know, a lot of times it's like what P said. A lot of times when people see a real good fight, instead of just appreciating it, they start, well, you know, he's swinging with his eyes closed.
Yeah.
Well, now he kind of dropped his hands right there. Everybody turns into the fucking Sunday morning critic and shit.
And the funny thing too is, like, I mean, and then those are people that be like, you know, let's just say they see Wilder get out boxing, they knock someone out with one shot, and they go like, ooh, and they go all crazy for that shit, you know, because it's not consistent. Consistency, cops.
Yeah. And like, I just appreciate a good fight. Like, and I don't know who people get off with this. If you see two guys landing on each other consistently and you get a good fight, it's on some, oh, they fight like cavemen. Shit, Gotti and Ward was a great fight, and it ain't look like no two fucking cavemen.
No, man.
But it's like people just want to do shit on people, man.
It's even, and what's even worse too is, like, you know, you would think that, I mean, obviously in certain forms, like now, I mean, on Twitter was, you know, was ablaze after this fight, but there was just certain people, a certain you know, subset of people from YouTubers that surprisingly didn't say shit about this fight, or they try to act like, you know, that this shit didn't exist. Simply because, you know, it gave attention to Top Rank.
Oh, Top Rank? We don't acknowledge Top Rank.
Yeah. And I was like, are you guys boxing fans or what? Like, you know?
No. That, you know what I'm saying? They had on their boxing dashikis and being hoteps and shit.
You said boxing dashikis.
Yeah, and I'm on YouTube. Like the next day, I'm thinking, this thing's like, man, there should be a lot more people talking about this fight. I mean, I saw more videos of the actual fight itself, people uploading it on YouTube. Now I saw people talking about it. I'm like, why? You know, what is this? Like, why can't people? So why aren't people talking about this fight? Like, you know, when you have something like the Charlo pay-per-view, you saw a whole bunch of videos on that. But for some reason, these two,
yeah, and none of those fights were fight of the year.
Yeah,
which and
a lot of those fights, were dope. Those fights were dope fights, but damn, this fight, like, god damn.
Man, that's not the shit on the Charlo's fight, but it's just like, come on, like you comparing a good fight to like an excellent, great fight.
Mm-hmm.
With everything you wanted. Like, the only thing else it needed was a good commentary soundbite from the trainers.
Oh yeah, the trainers. Yeah, because definitely Bradley.
I mean, because even the.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was about to say the same shit, nigga. Go on, like, yeah, the commentary from Bradley, top notch, man. Like, hell yeah.
Bradley and then Osuna too, because, you know, Osuna pretty much lost his whole shit. I was like, this fight is done. Like, he said that shit mad loud. Like, this fight is done. You know, it's just like. I was like, yeah, we definitely can see that. You know, dude spazzed over that finish, and that's the beauty, because usually when you get that many knockdowns, sometimes you don't get that. You don't get that type of finish. Like, usually, sometimes the ref may just like, okay, you had enough punishment for today, son. You know, time saving for another day. But the fact that a fight like that ended in a brutal knockout, where dude had to go to the hospital afterwards after being out for 10 minutes. That I mean, it's sad. It's bad to say, but that's like the icing on the cake.
I think both these dudes are going to need a little bit. I mean, I think Baranchyk especially. It's going to take years off their career. So
yeah, Baranchyk is probably down for at least 90 days. You know,
90 days. I was telling Lukey, man, he need to take a 6-month break.
Yeah, I was going to say, take a 6-month suspension, like self-suspension.
If not 6 months, at least 4 months. And I'm talking about like we were saying, I don't want to see pictures of him in the gym hitting in the bag. Like, just leave everything boxing related alone. Like, yo, even take the fight and a copy of Fight Night from this nigga. Like, no, just leave it alone.
Mm-hmm.
I like all of that shit, but yeah, man. Yo, one thing I want to mention, I think Asuna and Bradley low key, like they got good chemistry with the commentary. It's not just this fight, but the last couple of times when they've been just those two, I think they on to something with that.
Well, I mean, probably because because I know you're not the biggest fan of Ward on the commentary, anyways, and Ward not being there kind of, made them.
Well, Ward's not garbage. Like he has his moments, and I like seeing him argue with Bradley and shit. But I just think.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, keep going with you.
I was gonna say Ward. No, Ward is definitely, he has his place, but it's just sometimes he feels himself a little bit too much and oversteps his boundaries. But for the most part, I enjoy Ward's commentary because he does bring a particular set of knowledge to the table, and I enjoy what he says. But like I said, it's his own ego, and sometimes he feels himself a little bit too much with some of the shit he says.
And I think that kind of hurts his chemistry with the rest of everybody else because nobody else takes themselves as serious as he do. Like I don't mind Ward on that. The only time Ward is really a problem is when he can't see a jab for some reason and don't want to score it, or if he got to do a Kovalev fight and he's with Kellerman, then stop. But
it was just funny because like Bradley's the opposite. I don't think Bradley takes himself serious at all, and like Ward is like too serious.
Yeah, and it's like it meshes well sometimes, and then sometimes it's like I feel like everybody has to convince Ward about a whole different fight that's going on because Ward sees some other shit.
He be on some like, I don't want to say this because because he was a fighter and probably be a future Hall of Famer, but like if some of the shit that he said, some of us said it, like it's on some like fucking what's the word I'm looking for, like a boxing psychiatrist shit like that, like psychoanalysis. It's like, really, like you
because his fucking fans do that. Remember the whole he destroyed Kovalev mentally and this that and
like we not trying to play. We not like in any sport because they do that in football too all the time. I hate armchair psychiatrists.
But see, like, for some reason they go overboard with Andre Ward fights with that shit. Like no other set of fans break down the psychological damage of a fighter like a fucking Andre Ward fan. Mm-hmm. Am I lying?
Nope.
Like every time, like it's a fucking Kovalev his brain need to be repaired so he could take sparring sessions again, and he was physically this that and mentally this that. I'm like, nigga, he got hit with some damn body shots and some right hands upstairs, nigga. He be alright. Like what the fuck? But I just like I think Asuna and Bradley, the chemistry, like they both crack their little jokes on each other. They both give each other props, in the woof woof with the dog camera, like they feed off each other's vibe. Like I think they like honestly, like when you had Ward and Kriegel and Henny and all of them, I feel like it's too many.
Kriegel is the only one that like legitimately annoys me. Like I don't like anything that he fucking says. He's always the most annoying.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I still take him over Mannix though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so let me choose. Do I want hard brown shit or soft green shit? Like bruh, like he's the only one that's like not tolerable at all. I mute him honestly when I hear his voice.
Yeah, but still, bruh, like honestly, I think he's still better than Mannix to me. Like Mannix, like he's the epitome of a non-boxing athlete. Like,
yeah,
he's so disrespectful and just like Kriegel don't be coming out of pocket like Mannix does.
No, see, it's two different. Like it's two different types of annoyingness. Like Kriegel annoys me in the way that Lampley used to annoy me. Mannix annoys me in a whole.
So hold on, what does Kriegel do that just annoys you then?
I feel that Kriegel is like he's like the biggest, like when it comes to the hyperboles and like this guy is the greatest fighter since like his like that kind of shit that he does is like Lampley level annoying. Like he's basically their cheerleader.
Okay, I can see that.
Like I'd
rather see enthusiasm than sarcasm and non-boxingism and disrespect.
No.
Like, that's just me though.
No, the enthusiasm
I'd
doesn't
rather
bother
you think
me.
Stevenson Shakur. I'd rather you think Shakur Stevenson is the next coming of Sugar Ray Leonard than for you to say, "Well, hey, Sergio Mora, isn't this the anniversary of when Jacobs knocked you out?"
Yeah.
Oh man, hey, De La Hoya. Then you rubbing off on other people. Now Sergio Mora is saying stupid shit like, De La Hoya's looking extra fly or good looking today or something. It's like he just bring down the whole fucking crew. Like,
Yeah, well, we know the zone is not Harlem style.
but shit, with Bradley and Osuna, I just feel like they got the chemistry that we wanted Lennox and Goose and that.
Osuna
or Wish or yeah. I think he just those two mesh better together than when you have everybody on there.
Like I said, I enjoy all of them except for Creed. Even Tessitore. I enjoy Tessitore.
Yeah, I fucks with Tessitore. Yeah, of course. Yeah. It just sometimes it feels like it's overproduced when you got like all of them talking about the fucking fight and or the whole card. Like honestly, like I feel like those guys are better in a sense of having them like talking after the fight, or you give a little quick segment from them during the fight. But if you're gonna, I mean, that's just me. That's my personal opinion. But I could still deal with them commentating the fight. They're not terrible. It's just I feel like they found a sweet spot with Bradley and Osuna right now.
Right, and like I said, I mean, they definitely called that Baranchyk Zepeda fight perfectly.
Yes,
Perfect.
agreed.
They added to the moment in the whole fight, And
I mean, Ward would have been forcing a knockout even more. Well, I think they should really go for the knockout. I'm like, you think?
I know, right?
Like, the fuck out of here, dude. Like, oh man, like, damn, if he get into the damn Hall of Fame before James Toney, I'm gonna be like, wow. Who you think, nigga?
Nah, he not getting
Ward.
it before Tony. He not getting it before Tony. He shouldn't.
Some people might vote for him. The ballots are up, bro.
Yeah.
I don't think he should get in before Klitschko either. But hey, that's me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Worship.
I vote Tarver before his ass.
That's longer shot.
That's not.
I know everybody's gonna be like, nah, hold on, LB, like, chill. I mean, but fuck it, nah.
Yeah, nah.
One guy beat Roy Jones.
That's the Florida bias.
One guy beat Roy Jones, the other guy beat Kovalev.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean,
but it's the Tarver losses though. So I feel you. He didn't retire undefeated. He don't have the gold medal. So I can respect it. I know like that's me, but I'll take the bigger win over the undefeated shit.
Oh man, but no, boxing needed a fight like that to set up.
Damn right.
Yeah, like I said, Tarver was good though, but it didn't have that type of fight on there, and and it was a special fight. And this fight is, it deserves all attention and everything. Like if you want, I mean, some people might are going a little bit too far and saying like, that this is like the best. This is like the best fight like ever. Like no, like better than some of like the older school fights or whatever.
Nah, I couldn't. Could you argue that? It's funny because Lukey brought that up. Like he was like, "Is this the best fight ever?" And it was hard because we was naming fights and I was like, "Damn." I think it's better than Hagler Hearns. To me, I enjoyed it more than Castillo Corrales. I couldn't put it over prior Aguayo though.
I'm not putting it over Hagler Hearns.
Nah, I got to. It's a better fight than Hagler Hearns.
Yeah, I think
it's just the names separate them. Like you talking about Hall of Famer, all-time greats, slugging it out for 9 minutes. And we got 2 top 10 guys that went at it for like 15 minutes.
I think in this fight we're gonna have to wait until like see what time does for this fight, like how you know, that's the reputation of this fight? Like, will it be like a forgotten fade that I eventually write an article about?
If this is a forgotten fade, hell no.
I mean, there are plenty of fights that I watched when they were, and I wrote about that when I thought, oh, you know, this should be remembered, like, you know, Lykovich and Brewster. Like, I was like, I mean, that fight should. I always thought that fight should.
Oh, Lykovich and Brewster was good, but I can't put it over this one, man.
But no, I'm just using that as an example of something that probably like, I didn't think should have become forgotten, but it was. You know?
Yeah, you right about that. I'm sorry, you right.
Yeah, you know, but you know, so and I think with this fight, this is just like, you know, time is going to tell like what type of reputation or whatever how this fight is going to be remembered.
Yeah, I mean, because time's the biggest judge, man. But for now, I like, you know, I basically had to break it down. Like, I think it's probably the best fight I've seen in the last 10 years or maybe 15 years. Or if it's not the best, it's at least top 3. Like, I'm hard pressed to find a better fight than that. Like, for all it gave you in just a short amount of time, like, my goodness. And we've had some great fucking fights, so, you know.
Yeah, we most certainly have, but it's just like, you know, we all thought it was good. We just didn't expect the sheer brutality of that fight, of how it actually played out. You know, and it's just like, oh, and like this is exactly what we need. I mean, this is no doubt the leading contender of the year for fight of the year, like,
and KO of the year.
Yeah, and of course, I mean,
you had some brutal KOs this year.
Yeah, and like
some niggas throwing around of the year too.
Yeah, I mean, the year's not out yet, and there's still definitely some good fights on the horizon coming. But I think, like I said, I mentioned before, there are some people that there's a certain subject of media people that just won't acknowledge this fight and what it is. I mean, you know, like, I mean, they'll say, you know, something contrary to the fact, like they might put one of the Trouble Fighters fight of the year or something like that, which is, you know, it's not. You know, they're good fights, but they're not really fight of the year. Not like this. You know, not like,
oh hell.
Yeah. You know, so it's just like, you know, and this, I think my last thing in my message about it is like, you know, we're boxing fans, people. Like, when boxing shows out, you know, you don't need an agenda. You need boxing. You, like, you know, talk about the shit. I mean, that's the whole reason why, you know, why this sport's become so niche. Because people paint themselves into a corner on a sport that already, you know, that's already pretty much, it's a niche sport and it shouldn't be. But you keep painting like all these boundaries, like, oh, I can't do this, I can't share this fight because of so and so and you know and it's stupid. You know this fight deserves all the props you get. And if you love boxing, you should be able to at least talk about this fight and mention it or something. You know, because I mean, hell, like, you know, if you know, we see all these people, you see all these other, you know, these cards that have like low ratings and shit like that because no one is watching them like that. You know, so it's just like, you know, you're shooting yourself in the foot when you say, okay, this fight, you know, I don't care about this fight. Let me go focus on, like, you know, let's do the whole guns and butter analogy. Let's focus on the bullshit rather than the actual sport. And then you wonder why this sport is not, you know, its viewing is on the, you know, it's on the low. That's the, you know, it's not growing like it should. So, like, you know, get better. Like, when we have fights like this, doesn't matter who they're affiliated with or who they're signed to. You know, that's the fight. Talk about it. You're a boxing fan. You know, that's the first one. You watch boxing for the boxing, not for any other shit. It shouldn't be for any other shit at all. And, you know, we said this plenty of times, over and over again. I mean, you know, LB even wrote a classic article about this shit. You know.
Facts.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, that's all I have to say. Like, get better. Like, this is the fight of the year. This, you know, Zepeda and Baranchyk deserve all the props. And thankfully, Baranchyk, you know, was able to leave the hospital the next day afterwards. You know, to now obviously he's going to heal up from that war. So yeah, no, outstanding fight. And I'll probably watch it again. Probably sometime during the week too. So. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much my final thing I'll say about this fight. What about you two?
I say, fuck the hype. I'm I'm just tired of oh well, we only follow what's hot. You know what I'm saying? I'm only rocking the latest, the latest Concords, like AKA the Charlos, and I guarantee you when the what I'm saying, I'm definitely gonna get those new those threes, when the tank fight comes, like that's gonna be the next one. And like, come on, diversify your boxing bonds.
Yeah, exactly. There's good boxing anywhere, regardless of who they're affiliated with. You do boxing, and you do boxing to get a big service when you have agenda of what you watch and what you report and talk about.
You do yourself a disservice.
Exactly. Oh man, LB, do you have
Just think about it, if you only watch fight of the year from one promoter and not the other.
Yeah, I can't even fathom that.
Niggas be like, oh well, even if that's the fight of the year, it's not the promoter of the year,
This is not the promoter of the year. That's what this shit gonna turn into, man. Hey yo, what boxing personality had the best tweets this year? Like what? Like you keeping track of that now?
Yeah.
Like okay, I mean, but shit. Overall, for me, like this is a great fight, excellent fight. If you've seen it live and just you witnessed something special. Hopefully, both could rebound. I don't need to see a rematch from this shit. Maybe an exhibition when they retire and they could put on the headgear and just have fun with it. But fights like this, I don't. One of my favorite fighters is Israel Vasquez, and he killed it with the toughness at the end of his career, and it ain't turned out too great for him.
Yeah,
it was great for us, the fans. We saw some beautiful shit, but you get older, you just don't want to see people, get to that level, man. But
yeah, it gets super deteriorated to the point where they carry them scars into retirement, and it's not usually, and it's not a pretty sight or not a pretty ending either. And
yeah, usually, guys who produce those type of fights on average don't get the big bucks like that.
Very rarely, yeah, they do. They're playing as a live body. They're playing to sell a bit, you're being on a bigger fight, but that's pretty much about it.
Yeah, remember, like I think they weren't getting, like, Gotti Ward didn't get $1 million until I think they third fight.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I think Ward finally got the $1 million payday.
Yeah, and that's when he retired on. Imagine that.
Yeah, like, dude, like, how many fucking fight of the years he got to give you? Like, shit.
Oh man, so yeah, don't do yourself don't do yourself a disservice to either people that listen to your content or whatnot. Report it as it is. If you see Boxing Tours talking about this fight, you should probably be talking about the damn fight. So period. And this has more than enough, more enough reasons for you to do it. So.
Well, it might happen again this week, this Friday night anyway. So
yeah.
They'll have another chance.
Yep, you have another chance. You have several chances coming up for this month. So yeah, make sure you do this fight. Like I said, leading fight of the year candidate. There's definitely nothing better. Just have to wait to see if it maintains its status by December 31st.
Word.
Oh man, but I think we talked enough about that fight and everything like that. So let me wrap up the cast for tonight. P, do you have any final thoughts?
Oh, P fell off.
Oh, my bad. My bad, P.
No, it's all good. Well, okay. Well, now that I got my anti-hypebeast rant out the way, back to Ring Gang Radio all day. You already know where to subscribe. You know what I'm saying? ringgangradio.com, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, the whole 9 yards. You know what I'm saying? So check us out. We got the cartoon up. Feel us? Watch part 2. It's out. Stop sleeping. and part 1 if you super sleeping, but you shouldn't be sleeping that much. You should be up. Hibernation time over. But
Yeah, nigga comatose.
But,
what's the ring game?
Check out that new banger by our boy Rome.
Yes.
Final. Shit is fire.
Yes, sir.
And also, I'm gonna say check out boy Key Sopranos. Back to the street. Shit is dope.
Yes, sir.
So you already know what it is.
That's what it is, man. Hey, LB, do you have any final thoughts?
Oh man, y'all just follow Ring. Man. What the other light skinned nigga said before me, you know what I mean? Like, y'all do what he said, man. Handle my lightweight. Yeah. I mean, y'all tune in Friday, see another good fight that we gonna call. Because we be on point like that. We got the site be on site like the soda omens. Check out the finals by my nigga Roman, like.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, I mean, Keith Sopranos dropped another banger. Also shout out my other Tunnel Gang nigga, Trife been dope and my man Tech Beats. KC Mo and North Florida in the house. They dropped a new collab project called Alternate Universe. That shit is fire. I got some collabs from other Tunnel Gang reps in there. Keith Sopranos on about a couple joints. My girl In Silence is on a couple joints. Good chemistry. Got some real heat on that shit. Alternate Universe. Y'all make sure y'all fuck with that. Bandcamp, iTunes, Apple Music, all of that shit. I would have been on there too. You know what I mean? But I had my little difficulties and shit. But the bars and boxing gonna come back in a little different type of way. I mean, me and the big homie Pat working on something. So y'all be on the lookout for that.
Yes,
and
sir.
just just fuck with us. If you ain't following us on Spotify and shit, and Anchor and all the other shit, and make sure you get them likes up and you hit the like and you share, retweet this shit, and fuck with everything we doing, and we all copacetic. You know what I mean? Like, just keep doing what we do, and just watching how we watch, and be as I be.
Word.
Gang.
Just like to add on to it, like I said, tell your friends all this, tell your friends, to follow us, and then like I said, we can all be friends. I say this all the time, and I mean that shit. It's just like, we can all be friends, and then we can tell you, so you can get exposed to everything that come up with every week. We're consistent with this shit. You know what I'm saying? We do it for y'all because we love boxing, we love being creative, we do a lot of creative shit, and we like making sure sharing it with the whole world. So this wave won't stop. It's always gonna be at its peak. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, get on it. So yeah, man, so for myself, Pat Scorpion, the New England representative, for LB Shuttleworth, the God, the GOAT artist, for King P, Bodega P, this has been another wonderful episode of Real Talk, where as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. So until next time, peace.